Welcome to this episode of Montana Multipreneurs. We're your co-hosts, Nina Lund, owner of Next Generation HR, and Mackenzie Smith, owner of Maven Administrative Consulting. Hey, Mac.
Hey, Nina.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Going good. Merry Christmas. What's amazing is this was not even planned other
I
than
know.
our sweaters, but
Yeah, those were definitely planned because we bought them together.
we did buy them together, but similar, but different colors.
Yeah.
These were definitely impromptu though, but super cute. Well, here we are right
Yeah.
before
End of year
Christmas.
recap.
End of year recaps. Yeah, some of our viewers, we've gotten some traction on our episodes, which is
Yes.
wonderful. We've done 3 to date. Fantastic. Some really wonderful owners, entrepreneurs, great tips, and some feedback that I've received, and I think maybe you've received as well. You guys haven't talked about what you do or why you do what you do. So we discussed and decided why not take this holiday episode to do that?
Yeah, I agree. We can kind of chat where we're at personally and professionally and what we're looking forward to because I know we got big plans.
Big plans.
So, if you had to describe this year in one word or pick a theme, what would it be and why?
Oh, wow. You're going strong.
I know. I feel like you are the resilience queen. I say that word a lot, but you have a great work ethic and you just are so resilient. Anything that comes your way, you're like,
Thank you. That's a huge compliment. Thank you, because it doesn't always feel that way.
I know I kind of threw you off guard with that question because I didn't send them to you beforehand, but I do
Well,
have some.
you're prepared, which isn't surprising, and I'm a little bit behind the curve, but yeah, thank you for that. I feel the same way about you. I think the word for me, if I had to pick my own word for this year, it would be probably building. I feel like we're both in the stages of our organizations. We're building strong
Right.
infrastructures, both independently and together. And so I feel like that word is what comes to my mind first. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of build off of that too. Build growth. I feel like both of us, we've just been trying everything. Whatever we can do, we're just saying yes and we're running with it. And so sometimes it's a really hard phase to stay in or be in for so long, which we can kind of talk about more because I feel like we don't really get to talk about those on our individual episodes. Um,
Right, right. The word I would use for you
yeah,
probably is risk taker.
I
And
know.
I
Like
feel
what?
like a lot of the suggestions that we've done, this podcast being one, really has been your suggestions and your creative abilities, even partnering. And I'm not a real risk taker, although some say you must be because you're an entrepreneur, but sometimes it still doesn't mean it's easy. And
Right.
I feel like you have come up with creative ideas for partnering and marketing ourselves and putting ourselves out there that I don't think I would have taken that leap without you.
Oh, well, and
When
I
you
feel the
first
same way
mentioned
about you.
even when you first mentioned this podcast, I'm like, nobody is gonna want to hear what I have to say. Maybe find a better partner. So
Oh,
don't
no,
put that
I don't
in.
believe that at all.
Yeah. So I would use risk taker for you. And you started a new business in the last year too.
Yeah, so I went out on my own as, a fractional executive assistant, operations support. With being a business owner, it ebbs and flows and, you get with other opportunities that come up and, capacities change, your day-to-day changes and we just say yes to opportunity.
So speaking of your business,
Yeah.
maybe it would be helpful if we shared a little bit about our businesses
Yeah.
since we have them. So do you want to share about
Yeah.
Maven?
So yeah, I basically how I kind of came up with the idea. I was an executive assistant at, a startup company and I was their office manager and executive assistant and I made a lot of good connections through there and a lot of them were really supportive. They say, "Hey Mac, you need to go out on your own and do this, contract for people." So I had great support. And I mean I still do. It's so I help all types of different businesses, entrepreneurs, smaller businesses, mid-size, and just with whatever task. I'm a task rabbit.
I'll take your word. I'll take your word for that. What for you has been some of the biggest challenges that you faced in the last year?
I think for me is wearing multiple hats at the same time and doing them all good at once. I think a really good example of that is you have to do strategy and you also have to do the work. There's a lot of creative process, but also executing. Sometimes it's a lot when you're on your own. What
Yeah,
about
but
you?
you really leverage your resources though, and you've got partners, and I have partners, and I think that's the only way entrepreneurs, solopreneurs can't do it all at all times. There's so much.
Yeah, I think that's honestly the biggest thing from the past year that I've taken away is life really is about collaboration, connection, because also it's inauthentic and like we've talked about before, no one wants to work with that.
Yeah, exactly. So your market is mid to small size employers.
Yeah, and I really do like startups. I mean, right now I'm working for someone who is well established, been open for 10 plus years, and I don't have to set up the whole admin role. It's a completely different ball game. The job duties or whatever look different. I'm not really setting up processes. I'm just maintaining them.
And your clients are national too.
Yeah. I mean, some of my first clients, they were in Texas and Bozeman and hopefully
And
from Florida.
we've got that coming up. We'll talk about soon too. And for our audience as well, who may not know us, we met at a women's networking group, a Missoula businesswomen's networking group. And I contracted with Mac. So I was her client to start with. And
Yeah.
I had her help me with an enormous amount of email cleanup and desktop on my computer and technology and organization. So that's really where we started.
Ah,
And then you, Mac, again with your ideas, thought perhaps it would make sense to partner and offer a full service solution to our clients. And the way I explain it to people is kind of the strategy, HR strategy. You've got your ops strategy, obviously,
right.
but when you partner the HR strategy and you're the structure, bringing it in for the implementation type of thing and
Yeah.
brainstorming solutions. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think working with you, I got to see really all what you did. And there was a lot of similarities. We had a lot of parallels and then a lot of things that complemented each other. You have such amazing experience with the people you've worked with. You're just a wealth of knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got a few decades on you. Okay, audience, you don't need to point that out. I know that. No. So, how did you come up with the name Maven Administrative Consulting?
I was kind of like toying around with an idea of doing my name, so doing Mac, but making it so each of the may see was a word. Anyways, and so I was like, this would be really cool. I love that administrative operations role, and administrative is kind of a broad name. And so I was like an expert of admin. And so that's kind of where it came from. What about yours?
So I came up with the name Next Generation HR. It's twofold. The first is my father was a human resources professional, executive. So I followed in his footsteps. In a way, it was a homage to him as I was Next Generation
I
HR
love that.
was one aspect of it. And then the second kind of area was next generation HR. Let's get human resources to the next level so that we're not seen as paper pushers or the policy police, and really adding value to organizational strategies for businesses to obtain and reach their goals, not just the HR insular side of things. So
You know what I love that you always say? You said businesses need to be strategic, not tactical. And you help businesses think long term, strategic.
yeah.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
more the tactical. So we complement each other.
So I would agree with you with the nature maybe of what the services are that you offer, but not mindset overall. You're
Right.
very strategic from that aspect, I feel like, with your business and where you want to go and what you want to implement in your service lines and openness to new things. But I agree, like, that's why we partnered, right? I think it is the full package deal with it. Both of us, it's fun when we're bidding a proposal together and we're thinking about all of the different components of it for the beginning assessment and looking at what's needed to the strategy long term and how we're going to get there and implement it the most efficient way.
So, what kind of clients do you support or are you supporting?
Yeah, so really it's been the full gamut. I help any size employer from solopreneur on up to thousands of people. I started Next Generation HR similarly as you to fill a need that I saw and assist organizations and corporations in meeting their goals and making their lives easier. And so, from the size perspective or the types of clients, I've had everything from high tech to low tech to startup organizations on up to organizations where their owners and CEOs are getting ready to retire and they need a succession management plan or maybe to go public. And so projects are very different. I am definitely a human resources generalist in the world of HR and talent management, everything hire to retire and all of the in between. So recruitment and selection, onboarding.
Right. You have a couple certifications too, right?
Yeah, so I'm certified succession management with the whole suite through some gurus in the industry there to implement both their theories and their tools, and also with some leadership development coachings.
You do it all, girl.
I think we all do to some extent.
What is something this year that you either implemented in your business or you improved that made a noticeable difference for you?
Well, one would be partnering with you and partnering with other strategic partners too, and really
Yeah.
leveraging that. We've got a few that are for both of us and also independent. And I think that to increase bandwidth and also thought partners, really key there. And even with other HR people as well, broadening that thought process there and being able to bounce things off of somebody.
Yeah, I agree. Being able to ask questions has made a noticeable difference. People would rather you ask a question than give them an answer that either you're not sure of or that you need to research, you know?
Right.
And so I feel like for me, just asking the question if I need to.
Yeah. What about you?
I've automated more of my onboarding process. And we are kind of doing that too with our partnership with creating proposal templates, setting email templates up, with my CRM, HoneyBook. I really have loved using that.
And could you talk about HoneyBook? Because in a previous episode, a client of yours referenced it. And I think for our audience, so they know what that is, would be helpful.
Yes, it's basically a CRM project tool. You can integrate your financial information, pulling reports for your CPA, bookkeeper. You can import contacts. You can do certain projects for each specific business or client. You can maintain your communication in there. You can mass send out email. There's a wealth of information. You can send out invoices, testimonies. So it really just encompasses a lot of what I need to automate as a one-man team. I love it.
It's something I haven't implemented yet. It's been on my list, but it's user friendly, you had mentioned.
So my friend actually recommended it because she runs a couple businesses herself. She took one night to kind of walk me through it. And from there, I just YouTube videos. Now I can set anyone up on it if they need help with it.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's a great tool and it's like QuickBooks, but maybe a little bit more user friendly.
Yeah, it leans more project/contact hub center focused.
In our world of entrepreneurship, right, you're supposed to identify your preferred or ideal client. And for me, I would say it's that 40 to a couple of hundred, 500 employees with organizations that are going to want to implement some strong HR practice and training and development and leadership that they're going to sustain and continue forward would be ideal.
We are very similar in that way of we can come in and set something up or we can come in and improve.
So, what are you looking forward to in the year ahead?
I think I'm most looking forward to becoming more stable in both life and business. There's highs and lows and just being able to be more level with my days, my months, my what about you?
Yeah, I would say the same thing Consistency would be
Right.
nice. As I said to begin with, it's build is the word I would use. So with that comes a lot of volatility in what we're doing, and no 2 days look the same. And we're strategizing and working different ideas and plans. So I would say some consistency in the next year I would look forward to. I'm also looking forward to some of the things we've got coming down the pike together.
I know, proposals and all.
Proposals and all, and we may as well talk. We've got this joint trip to Florida coming up in February. Wanna talk about that a little bit and what we've got
Yeah.
planned?
If it started out like, let's go to a different area and see how these people are connecting and doing business. And um, we, our other trusted thought partner lives down in Jacksonville. And so we're like, let's go and see her in person and see what her, community is. And so I'm excited for it.
You do. Yeah, I mean, when it was first kind of in the incubation periods being floated around, you and I were thinking about our first joint event together. You and I were co-exhibitors of our respective businesses at a SHRM conference. And that was really great. And we interacted with other HR people. And of course, they're ongoing. And I think when you and I were talking about, well, that's wonderful,
Right.
but how do we really expand our networking
Right.
efforts and get in the room with people that fit our ideal client
Right.
base? More,
More exposure, people in just different areas. Since Missoula is, such a small community, it doesn't hurt to grow your network.
well, yeah. And since both of us service clients, the majority of my clients are not Montana based. And so they are national. We do have local clients as well. But since that's the case, let's take it on the road. And so this has really grown into a true partnership, like you said, with yourself, with Kate Reeve of Communicate, who's branded this as Coast to Coast Connections, which is wonderful. And she's also involving some local people there in Jacksonville, Florida. And then we'll also be facilitating a personified leadership 2-day leadership program for people there, and in addition to other workshops. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And we're doing networking. We're going to go to some chamber events, we're going to throw a happy hour where people who've either been to the training, gone to other events, come together and kind of recap the week. It's going to be cool. And February in Florida.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, you though, you have to quit calling it a vacation because my husband overheard you the other day. And I'm like, Ixnay, this is business. But yes, we get the benefit of some sunshine in
Right.
February. I mean,
And
it's valid.
maybe a salt room.
And maybe yeah, salt cave, salt room.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that and just kind of keep building on what we have and see where it takes us. What's one thing you're going to let go into the new year? Is there something in 2025 you're like, okay, this isn't working for me anymore? I got to change directions?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and maybe a lot of entrepreneurs face this, is second guessing myself. And when I either don't win a client or get something that I was really looking
Right.
forward to partnering with, is knowing that I put the best foot forward. And like many of our guests have said, don't let the no's get you down.
Right.
Don't quit and
Don't
just
lower your expectations because, you're getting a few. I can relate to that.
exactly. Yeah. So, and I'm a worrier by nature. And I think I've come a long way in that aspect over the last couple of years, but it's still there. And
Right.
so, really being able to truly not worry about those things. What about you? What's one thing you're going to leave behind?
I think I'm similar, just trusting my gut and opportunities that come my way. They're coming this way for a reason, and maybe those things that the no's, maybe that's for a reason.
Is there anything you're going to bring in new? Either a program, a tool, a certification, or just a practice?
So this past year, I had it on my goal to get certified with either CAP or PACE, or their professional administrative certifications. Really, just bandwidth is the reason I haven't, but it's on my goal list. And
That's great, though.
Thank you. What about you?
I would say the biggest thing to complement the business is I am going through a program to be a certified mediator. I would like to bring that in the short term into the HR consulting business as another. I assist organizations currently with investigations and with conflict resolution. I feel that that would be a whole other service line of
Yeah.
a impartial, neutral person to come in and mediate conflict within organizations. By the end of the year, I'll be certified in general mediation and specifically workplace. So that's the
That's cool.
biggest thing I'm looking at from a certification or service bringing in. So let's talk about why did we
Yes.
start this? Why did you want to start something like this? You're the one that came up with the idea to begin with.
I feel like being out in the community, you hear all of these cool stories, or even if you're just not, you meet someone at a conference or through another business partner and you hear all their stories. And I'm like, these stories need to be heard. I mean, our last guest worked a full time job and he owned a business. He did whatever he had to do to get where he's at. And that needs to be shown more that it's not always pretty, but you can do it if you put your mind to it. We wanted to get these people on and be like, hey, like, how'd you do it? Share all of the good, the bad, the ugly. And it's just different marketing. It's what the kids are doing.
Don't bring up age. 100%. Mac, when we interview people, we're not perfect. We're growing
Yeah.
this, right? We're learning as we go. We had a great intern who found our platform to be
Yep.
able to tell us where we should record and edit, which was wonderful. And we're learning and we're
Yes.
improving all the time with our podcasts. I think we both realize, and our audience realizes, we're not professionals yet. And at the same time, it's so heartwarming whenever we interview these entrepreneurs and business owners and business leaders and have them tell their story and see how passionate they are about it. It's so motivating.
I think we also said that our meetings at Old Bull needed to be recorded because of all the shit we say.
It is true.
So here we are.
We should. I mean, we should. I think on our trip to Florida, we're planning to do a little bit more lives and impromptu stuff.
What do they call that? B-roll?
I don't know what
Who knows?
the kids. Yeah, and just seeing the pride of the people that we talk to, it's great. I'm excited about we have guests in the queue. We've got a lot coming forward that I'm super excited this year
Me too.
of continuing to talk and learn takeaways every single time.
I know, me too. And
Yeah.
the days where we had those meetings are days where I needed those conversation of like, keep going, be consistent, pivot if you need to.
Yes. I mean, you're going to hit stumbling blocks. You're going to hit struggles. And as you mentioned, resilience, how do you maneuver through that? It's not pretty.
No.
And what you said as well is you see a lot of people that on the outside, it looks like, boy, they've had it easy. Boy, they got all the breaks. Look at, they're successful. They're opening up a second business. And what I love is getting into some of the struggles that made them
Yeah.
who they are and
Right.
successful. And what we're
It makes them
learning,
relatable,
relatable. And it's not easy for anybody. It's the iceberg. Everybody's got their challenges and how they maneuver through it.
Yeah, it's definitely part of our theme. We're building and growth. I think this podcast just aligns with that. I'm excited to see kind of how it takes off and how it evolves because I know before Florida in February, we're going to interview some business owners. So we'll be able to meet some people before we go over, which will be nice to have familiar faces over
Yeah,
there.
our lineups is looking great. We've got some radio personalities and also networking gurus, also here locally, executive chefs, just all kinds of leaders,
Yeah.
even if they're not necessarily business owners or specifically tied to Montana. I mean, our goal was to incorporate a lot of Montana, but also elsewhere too. So I'll ask you a
Yeah.
question we ask our guests always. What is something fun that somebody wouldn't know about you or that you want to share with our audience?
Something fun. Well, I'm not super fun these days. You talk about being a risk taker. Back in my early 20s, the type of risk taking I did compared to now. Um, so I would say a fun fact about me is I love to travel. Went when in my early 20s, I think it was like 19, 20, to Costa Rica. And I traveled from the Pacific to the Caribbean, all over the country and just explored it. And I talk about all the time just going back there or, maybe getting a cool retirement home there one day. Anywhere tropical really by a beach that has mountains, sign me up. So, yeah. What
Well, that's good to know. So next year for my birthday, I told my husband what I want is to rent an Airbnb or something for a month in Costa Rica, and people that want to can come and visit me as they want. So multipreneurs might be taking a road trip.
I will you have to stay on the Caribbean side. The Caribbean side of Costa Rica, Pura Vida
Okay,
it's chill
got it
there.
down. Got it down. It probably takes a little bit longer to get there from here.
Okay, so I flew into San Jose.
Yeah, we flew into San Jose, did the 3 hour to Arnold, the jungle, and then went through some other parts and then ended up in around Liberia where we flew out of.
So we only did, is it Arenal? The volcano? We only did that for 2 days, and we stayed in hostels. Wild.
So you
Um,
weren't married yet?
no,
Yeah.
no. No, I was not.
Did you do this with friends or solo?
So my friend was studying abroad there in college,
Okay.
my best friend in high school, and so I went to visit her. So next year, count me in.
Okay. It's on my list, so I just have to
It'll get
make
done. If it's on
it
your
will
list, it'll get done.
it will get done. It will. You have to put it out there, right?
Mhm. What about for you? What's a fun fact?
Well, I don't know if it's a fun fact or just a fact, but I'm going to share it because it's important to me. But I
Yeah.
am a organ recipient from a few years ago, and my organ donor was a wonderful lady named Suzanne. So I'm very grateful to her and for her family for honoring that. And so organ donation is something that's really important to me and spreading the word and awareness. So I'm hoping to do more of that over the next year or two. Personally, I'll be competing in the Transplant Games of America in Denver this summer. So, yeah, I haven't decided what events yet, but along those lines, though, I guess a fun fact would be that nobody really knows, but it's true. In high school, I ran hurdles and track.
That is cool.
I know for somebody that's not coordinated at all, it wasn't pretty. There's stories. If any of my high school friends listen to this, they'll know. But I did. So,
I was not much of a hurdle girl, but I did the 100-meter, 200-meter. I loved
well, let
sprints.
me tell you, I did not sign up for hurdles. I was a cross country runner. I don't
Oh,
know how I got signed up for hurdles. It was actually very embarrassing, but I mean, I finished a race where I knocked down every single hurdle along the way. I was way behind and I still finished. It was so embarrassing. But anyway,
well, I every time you talk about that story, it's why you are such a resilient person. I mean, that affects your personal, your professional, everything, and, it shapes you, so I've
yeah,
learned
it
a lot from
definitely
you.
it definitely puts things in
Yes.
perspective, and when it comes to the worrying, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, "This really isn't that big of a deal to
Right.
be worried about," so I try to keep that in perspective there. So what this holiday season are you most excited about? What are you going to do? What are your plans?
So, like traditions, we go to candlelight service with my Nana and Papa in small town Deer Lodge, Montana
Oh,
for
fun.
Christmas Eve, and then we do potato soup. We come home and get on matching pajamas, and then we open one gift. And then we just are in jammies for the next probably 48 hours,
Is
you
there
know?
a special other than the potato soup, is there a special, like, Christmas dinner or breakfast?
My husband is gonna smoke a brisket, and then, we invited some of my friends that I don't have family in town, and they're gonna bring cheesy potatoes and some other appetizers. What are you guys doing for Christmas?
Yeah, we're very similar. So last weekend we went and cut down a tree with our daughter and her boyfriend for their apartment. So that was fun. So that's part of the season, right? It's
Mm.
going to get the Christmas tree.
Ugh, mine's fake. You're better than
Well,
me.
in all transparency, last year I got a fake tree. Going to cut the Christmas tree down was kind of a burden. Usually the
Okay.
weather was horrible and you had to fit it in on top of busy schedules already. So I bought a tree last year And so we didn't get a tree when we went with them, but they wanted to go. It's their first year in their apartment
Right.
together. And we were like, and with the pressure off of
Yeah.
having the flame, it was so enjoyable. We
Uh-huh.
had so much fun that day. We came back and we had chili and just a low key day. It was wonderful.
Good.
But yeah, we're kind of similar. So we'll be low key. It's just us here, ourselves and our daughter, and of course our friends and family, or our friends. We don't have any family here. Sometimes we go home to our family in Colorado, but we decided this year we won't. It's a 13-hour drive,
Oh,
and
yeah.
in the dead of winter, the last couple of winters we haven't done it. It's just too much
Yeah.
to do, and it's too risky. And you're checking into hotels late at night. It's freezing, so we're gonna do that. Christmas Eve, usually, our neighbors invite us over, and we just usually have a neighborhood deal and have some fun. Christmas Eve, similar with you with pajamas, maybe a pair or two for
Oh,
yours
I should grab
truly.
this shirt. Mine says, "The first to start the shenanigans." My Christmas
That's cute. I need one of those. So on Christmas Day, hang out, watch movies, play
Yeah.
games, and relax. If there's snow, we might go snowing, but or sledding, but it's not looking like there will be.
I know. It's been spring here.
Yeah,
45
I know it's
degrees
all
zero.
melted.
Weird.
So anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I'm just glad we gotta do this, and I'm excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, me too. And I'm so excited you had this idea for the Montana Multipreneurs podcast. It's been so much fun. You and I just enjoy working together. We have a lot of fun and we're laughing. A lot of it hasn't creeped into the podcast yet, but I'm sure with time it
It will.
probably will. And we just gel and get along so well. So it's a fun thing that we're doing. It's not work. It's really enjoyable.
Yes.
And like we talked about earlier, the guests that we've had on, sometimes we'll have guests, sometimes it'll be just you and I talking
And I'm
about.
gonna I'm gonna get better at editing. Our equipment's gonna get better. We're just going up
Yes.
from here.
We're just going up. Hey, we're episode 4, and we've got some coming up next week too that we're going to be recording. So kudos to us and much appreciation and thanks to our guests that have been on and our guests that are forthcoming. And just wish everybody a happy holiday season.
Yeah,
Be
thanks
safe.
everyone for your support.
Yes,
Stay
thank you
tuned.
all.